Guys, a huge warning sign for Bitcoin has flashed today, and we need to talk about this because you can see this two ways. Either it's heavily positive or really, really bad. Let's find out what it is. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Saturday. And we start off with the Bitcoin CME chart because the CME chart closed yesterday at $77,135 and the current Bitcoin price is roughly around $76,500. So currently we would have a nice CME gap, which means the price needs to come up here to close it. But there are some booby traps with that level up here, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. So make sure that you definitely stick around here, and if you are new here, also that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out on these really important updates. Even if, like I said, we most likely, if we are not closing this CME gap over the weekend and we open tomorrow around the same price, expect that by tomorrow evening, Monday, latest by Monday, I expect this, that we come up here, close this, and then come a little bit back down. When we're looking at the ETF flows, yesterday they were again extremely positive, not crazy, but okay. So 4,000 Bitcoins were bought. That is $280 million, more actually, it's over $300 million that were bought yesterday here, leading by BlackRock. Once again, BlackRock goes absolutely crazy right now. Then when we're going into the Bitcoin chart, on the 12-hourly chart, what we can clearly see now is that Bitcoin is struggling to go higher because we are not getting these crazy candles currently that could bring us straight into the $80,000 level. So why is that? There are multiple reasons for that. One reason is that we have a lot of short sellers that have liquidation levels up here, and that means when they get liquidated, they are selling. So there are selling pressure sitting above us when they get liquidated. And the next problem is that we have logical resistance levels by basically physics, and these are the Fibonacci levels. Fibonacci levels are rationalized levels that act as resistance. Price goes there, then we also get rejected from there. So currently we are not, I think at least, we're going to check in a moment, I think we're not at a Fibonacci level just yet, but they're above us and they are also acting as heavy resistance currently. So now also when we're looking at the indicators, you see that the stochastic is definitely overbought. The MACD is losing momentum, and also the RSI is buckling here in a rounding shape, slowly to the downside. And you know the drill, guys. Usually what this means is that we are coming back down. The question is now, how low will we come back down? So I believe that when we come here back down and get that healthy pullback that we need in every bull run. By the way, guys, if you are new and this is your first run, don't worry. These pullbacks are absolutely normal. We are not going back to $60,000, $50,000. They are healthy. We need them to gain momentum to go back to the upside. So here we are overdue for a pullback, guys. So, and here's two major levels that I'm looking at on the 12-hourly time frame. One is the $73,700 level, because you see here, there it was resistance. Then we smashed through this, retested it as support. So this should act as a little bit of support when we come back down here. Then wherever the EMA ribbon is, will be the next level of support. Now you see that the EMA ribbon goes here in a stiff angle up. This is also not really normal for the EMA ribbon. At some point, it will also curve around, goes a little bit here sideways up in a wave shape, something like this. So, but this stiff angle here only comes from this whole move here, which was a $6,000 move. So this $6,000 move in these multiple candles caused the EMA ribbon turn here into a stiff angle to the upside. Now, the big warning signal that I currently see on Bitcoin comes from the 4-hourly chart, and it will surprise you that it's actually not the rising wedge. That is not the big issue that I have here with that 4-hourly chart currently. The big issue that I have with the 4-hourly chart is that we have now a confirmed bearish divergence on the chart. the bearish divergence will play out. Let me just get this here. So here, let me quickly explain again what a bearish divergence is. When the RSI creates lower highs, so here we have the high point, and after that we never got above 78% on the RSI and created only lower highs, but the price was keeping to make higher highs, then we speak about a bearish divergence. So, and that means that the trend is coming to exhaustion and price is reversing back to the downside. So now, once Bitcoin breaks below $76,100, there will be your confirmation is right now on the way to play out the bearish divergence. Now, what do I believe? How low we can potentially go? All the way down here into the green zone on the 4-hourly chart. I know on the 12-hourly chart I said something different. We are only a couple dollars away from what I said on the 12-hourly chart, but it doesn't really change anything. So here, a big level of support on the 4-hourly chart is $73,300 to $72,700. So that is $600 range. I have orders in this area here in case that we are breaking down. Now, this can be invalidated really easily. If you see that the RSI breaks above this downward sloping trend line, then the bearish divergence is invalidated. And at the same time, you want confirmation, and confirmation will come in when Bitcoin breaks above $77,000 and closes the 4-hourly candle above that level. Because what is going to happen then is that currently that red resistance area that we are in flips into support, and we continue to go higher and will then top out around the $80,000 mark. Not the top of the bull run, but we locally going to top out and going to reverse back to the downside to find momentum to go back up. The MDX Algo scalp gradient, I will be honest, guys, so with the scalp gradient, I am reluctant to say that we are going to see immediately the bearish divergence playing out for a simple reason. So price heated up here. Price, if you look really closely, price is cooling down a little bit. So we had here like super hot red candles, over here darker ones. They are more pinkish again. But what is missing here is another solid move to the upside, in my opinion. It doesn't have to happen. We can also just roll over like this. But I still believe that there's one big candle to the upside missing. So even though we have here the double confirmation of that bearish divergence that I was speaking about, and usually when we get both of them, like over here, you see price is then starting to roll over soon afterwards. So we are speaking here about 48 hours potentially. So in these 48 hours, I expect Bitcoin to make one more run to the upside, and then it's going to roll over. If it's not going to happen, then you know the drill, guys. $76,100 is the level to watch from where we are breaking down from that rising wedge, and then we come into lower levels. Now, I had one chart. If we say here was the high, if we say here was the high, then the 0.382 is the usual bounce level, also in a bull run, from where we are going to get continuation. And here again, you see why the $73,700 range is so crucial here, and why we have so much confluence, because the Fibonacci level is in alignment with that. So we can technically go as low as the 0.5, but then, in my opinion, something really crazy needs to happen for that. So like really something crazy, like the Democrats go on the street and mobilize the military so that Trump will not get into office. Something at that scale. Something at that scale could lead to a drop like that. But otherwise, I really don't see it happening. And I would focus here on the 0.382 level. My Bitcoin trade on ZoomX is in massive profits, guys. It was earlier over $30,000. In total, I'm racking in here almost $29,000 in profit with my Solana trade, which was earlier also already almost $1,000 in profit. But you see here, I have my orders stacked here from 74,800 to 74,100, then 74 and 73,500. So even if we come all the way down to $73,200, I will be completely filled. I will be happy, and from there I go back up with all the money that I have in the account, and the profits are going to explode. Now, if you want to trade with me together, guys, then don't forget that you will stand a chance to win $500 by simply opening an account on ZoomX and depositing $100 there and opening one single trade. It can be a trade for $1, it doesn't matter. Open, close it, and you are in. Tomorrow I will do a live stream, and on the live stream I will give away the next $500. So if you want to be one of the potential winners, then you know what to do. The link for that is in the description and the pin comment below. Now, from a liquidity perspective on the 4-hourly chart, the high leverage liquidity is currently concentrated between $75,000 and $73,400. So this is a big range, but here are the late long positions that basically formed into that move here to the upside. So because they missed this move here and came late to the party, and was like, oh shit, I don't want to miss out. So I go now 50x, 100x, and ride this as high as I can. So here you find another reason why I believe that Bitcoin might go a little bit higher, because we have here low leveraged short positions that these people that are holding them think are pretty safe. So they are like 5 and 10x leverage. But I believe we are going to tap them, which will bring us close to $78,000. And then we are rolling over. So and here, the first initial target will be the EMA ribbon, most likely the mid-range, $74,000. And then we break potentially a little bit lower to $73,400. And from here, I expect definitely then a reversal and a reclaim of the EMA ribbon with continuation by the end of next week. So if this move to the downside is happening in the next 72 hours, then by the end of the next week, we're turning around and going back to the upside. Also, when we are looking at the liquidation heat map on the 3-day chart, also here you can see we have some liquidity concentrated above us. Again, that's the over-leveraged short position that are over-leveraged short positions, yes. So over-leveraged short positions and low-leveraged short positions that are sitting here in that concentrated area. Once we're tapping into $77,400, $300, we are most likely going to get a short squeeze into 78. But you see here, even if we go up all the way to $78,400, then we have a gap. We have here a liquidity gap to $79,000. So there's two things that can happen when we reach a liquidity gap. Either price spikes higher into the top of the gap here to $79,200, and we just have a wick and it comes straight back down. So, or when we reach here $78,440, we top out from there and reject from there already, because above us there's no liquidity to grab. There's no reason for liquidity providers to push the price higher, so they don't do it. If retailers doing it, okay, they live with that, you know. So, but if not, and everybody takes profits in these areas, then it will just roll over and come back down. So the other scenario is that we are just breaking down, and then here a long squeeze will happen at around $75,700 into $75,300, and then it will just trigger a cascade all the way down to $74,200 to $73,200. When we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance is exactly doing what I told you guys. I said when we top out here around the 60-61% level, you will see that the dominance will come down quite quickly. We don't want to see this happening too quickly, because if it's happening too quickly, then at some point the dominance will get a bounce. And here's now the big problem with that. Even if it's a small bounce, even if it's a 0.5% bounce, altcoins are going to bleed like crazy. You know, because we have coins that moved in the last 2 days 30-40%, they're going to give back 10% easily, 10-15% in that small move here back to the upside. So that is what you don't want to be happening when you only see big red candles going to the downside. Because once you get that small bounce, that bounce on the dominance is devastating for altcoins. So what you rather want to see is from here by tomorrow some sideways consolidation, it can happen slowly, that we continue to go slowly lower, but you don't want to see here every day one long candle after the other going to the downside, you know. So, and then here at 58 we get a bounce or something like this. This is not what you want, you know. So best case scenario, or the optimal case, is that we start to go a little bit sideways. You know, some altcoins will move, some will not move, which is absolutely fine. And then we get another big move to the downside, consolidate like a staircase. So that would be the optimal scenario here. But the market is quite aggressive, and we might actually not get this, and we just keep pushing lower and lower. But again, on the other side, good for altcoins. It will propel altcoins into much higher levels. And I'm going to show you here now some confluence at one point that is actually happening. You know, here the total free market cap chart that I'm showing for ages here already. And I always said when we break above $655 billion, we are going to snap really quickly into $700 billion. So we are on the way there. We are most likely tapping this also in the next 3 to 5 days, in my opinion, that we are touching this level. So, and why do I say this level is so important? First of all, here is big resistance from all these wicks over here and the deviation that we had over here. And we have never retested it since June this year. So that is already 5 months where we did not retest this level, which should be acting as massive resistance. Now, when we get up here, I expect some consolidation just below that, and then we smash through that. And now I'm going to show you why that is so important. Because at the same time, once that is happening, here on the total 2, which exclude Bitcoin, once we are tapping into $1.24 trillion, which is also massive resistance, the real alt season will basically take shape, and we will then be in the midst of the huge altcoin run that we anticipated, where some altcoins that we identified already will make all-time high after all-time high after all-time high, and they will keep going during this bull run. So, and now look at this. Here is $20 billion is missing to push the price above 200. So this is 200 billion is missing to push us above this level without Bitcoin. So now on the total free market cap, once we are reaching 1.2 billion, we are above 700 billion. And what do you think is going to happen if we get, because here we only need 22. So we have $180 billion of liquidity that we can move higher on the total free, which will push our altcoins much, basically to the moon, guys. You know, so $180 billion into the altcoin market sends us to the moon. And that's what I'm looking out for. So, and only then when we reach the $1.4 trillion level, $1.24 trillion level, there I expect some resistance, and there altcoins will potentially start to pull back substantially once we're hitting this. But until then, it's basically la la land for us, you know. So it's easy mode when we trade, and I'm going to show you that here also in a moment why it's right now easy mode. The next reason for this is coming from the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, because you see here Ethereum bouncing massively on the weekly chart with that weekly candle here to the upside. I believe once we are breaking above the 0.04 level, that shortly afterwards we are going to see that this weekly candle is going to top out, because we run into this upward sloping former support, now resistance level. But I don't know when I said this the last time, but I remember that I said this, it might be a really, really long time ago. I talk like months, you know, this can be a couple months ago, that I said if we break below this line here, that we will create a deviation, and this might be the deviation where the next candle comes straight back into that big triangle and keeps going to the upside. So now I can tell you already, once we're reaching here, the 0.05 level, Ethereum will be over $4,000. If we reach the 0.055 level here, that big resistance, Ethereum will be at a new all-time high. And after that, Ethereum will just keep flying all-time high after all-time high. So if you want to trade altcoins with me together, guys, then you should definitely have a Bybit account. Here you get $500 absolutely for free in an airdrop position for depositing $100 on any of these coins, on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Doge, Arbitrum, Phantom. These are the coins that you find usually on this channel here. I really need to make some charts for Jupiter and also for Audi. So really easy. Use the link in the description below or in the pinned comment below. Open the account, deposit $100, claim the airdrop voucher, use the voucher, and all the profits that you make out of the $500 belong absolutely to you. So make use of that, because this is by the end of the year running out. So now when we're going into the Ethereum chart here on the daily chart, also here you see the indicators are running hot, which is suggesting that at some point we're going to get a small pullback. And we are over $3,000 exactly as I predicted it, guys. I remember what I said. I said break this downward sloping trend line and we are going to teleport into $3,000 really, really quickly. And this is exactly what happened here. Now, there are two levels that I'm looking at, actually three levels, where Ethereum can top out. The first one is the 0.5 level on the Fibonacci extension level, $3,100. The next one would be $3,200, because here on the VPVR, stops that big resistance cluster that we are currently trading in. And if we break above that, then the 0.5, 0.618, the golden ratio, will be then the final level where Ethereum is going to stop, in my opinion, and starts to turn around a little bit. So which is absolutely fine, because the indicators, they're already overextended by any meaning. Only the RSI has a little bit more room to push it to the upside, and that's potentially also the reason why we still go a little bit higher. But Ethereum is struggling for 8 hours now to go above $3,055. So there you see already there is some exhaustion happening. So if I go into a 4-hourly chart, then also here, look at this. Here, massively overbought. So here that green shadow only happens when we are massively overbought. Stochastic is flying. You know, we just opened a new 4-hourly candle. MACD is turning around. You know, so I don't know what the 1-hourly chart does. Also overextended. So yeah, so maybe we tapped $3,100 at the 0.5 level, but then it's time to cool down a little bit. So which is fine, you know, so which is absolutely fine. And we need this so that we can then continue to go higher. So if I would be looking for an Ethereum trade currently, I would expect a pullback to 0.382, again, that massive bounce level, and in alignment with the EMA ribbon, and enter a trade from here. And if you want to have a short-term trade, like really short-term, then the golden ratio here would be a target, or the 0.786 here, or you can go as high as $3,970. So these are the levels where I would initially take some profit off the table, unless you build this position with low leverage and you want to hold it into a new all-time high, potentially even longer than that. So then Solana looks different. On the 4-hourly chart, we are consolidating within the golden ratio. So here you will get another chance to enter once we're breaking above $203 here at the 1.618. From there, you can enter this, because the indicators, at least the stochastic and the RSI, the MACD are okay. The MACD is somewhat bullish. I believe this is a fake out. The stochastic just printed a buy signal. The RSI is at 72.8%, which is not insanely overbought yet. We start to be overbought at 75. So here's also a small move still potentially coming, and can push us to like $214, $220 before this is turning around. So, and I must say Solana was now the last couple of days one of the strong coins. When we got a pullback, these pullbacks were really, really shallow. So, and that can continue for a long time, because the all-time high is at $260, and Solana did for 3 years not revisit this level. What could happen is in the next 20 hours that Solana just keeps pumping into this new all-time high, makes a new all-time high, and only reverses from here back to like $230, $240, and then continues to go higher. So the point that I want to make here is, don't get left behind. Don't wait. Rather use a low amount of leverage when you get in at $203, that you can sustain a move all the way down to $175. So that is a little bit more than 10%. This is like a 12% move to the downside. So not more than 7x leverage on this, so that you can withstand a move to $175. I'm not expecting that it's going to happen that we go to $175 here, because the EMA ribbon is in the way and should act as support when the price comes down at around $187. So, but you want to make sure that you don't start to sweat when shit hits the fan and we move a little bit below or close to the bottom of the EMA ribbon. Pendle is one of the coins that is also close to a new all-time high, and that I personally also entered into a trade for the simple reason that I believe that we are coming here in the next coming days to create a new all-time high. The prior all-time high was here at, what is this, $7.54, which is a substantial move, guys. So from current levels all the way up here, so that is a 40% move. So that's why I wanted to be in this Pendle trade, because earlier we were here above the $5.36 level. So we were above the golden ratio, and that was the point where I entered, because I think we had a 4-hourly candle close. Yeah, you see here, this candle, that led me to enter, because we closed above, and I thought the next candle gives us continuation. Now we come down a little bit, sitting, basically retesting the Fibonacci golden pocket, which is fine as long as we're getting continuation. So if you're looking for a trade on Pendle, it is not the worst idea to enter right now, because we are above that massive downward sloping resistance line. And once we get a daily close above that level, expect that we are moving really quickly into $7 from here. Pendle is also one of these new coins that is moving really, really fast, really, really quickly. So you don't want to be left behind. If we are not managing to break above the downward sloping trend line and we start to pull back, here are the levels that you should look out for to open a position: $5.14 and $4.80 or 84. These are the levels where you want then to enter before this breaks to the upside. Next one, SUI. SUI is ready to break and leave the range here at $2.35. You see the bull flag is taking shape, and here that candle should break us out of it. If we are getting this breakout, and you see the bull flag target is also hitting the Fibonacci extension level, a new all-time high at $2.78. And my target on this trade is $2.85, and I will take profit up here because I expect from there a rejection. And these levels are highly accurate, usually in a bull run, guys. That's why I'm telling you about this, so that you can take advantage of my knowledge from prior bull runs. You should not forget, this is not my first or second bull run. This is my fourth bull run, guys. My fourth. The first one, I had no clue what I was doing. The second one was already different. And in the third one, I got rich. And this time, I plan to get wealthy. And I want to take you with me. And that's why I'm giving you all this knowledge. So these Fibonacci extension levels are usually the levels that are getting hit when we are creating new all-time highs. And from there, we start to reverse, find momentum, go back to the upside. Here in that move, if you would take the trade right now, you will look at 22.4% profit. And you see here the indicators, they're all shaping up for continuation. We're losing sell momentum here on the MACD. The stochastic is pointing to the upside. The RSI is in bullish territory, not overbought. Hence why I believe that the breakout out of that bull flag is coming here faster than you might think. Then eGold had a break of this downward sloping trend line that I was talking about. And that move here to the upside came also way faster than I expected. I was in an eGold trade for I think 15 minutes, and it hit my target because I was scalping. It hit my target and I did not even realize. I was like, what happened? Did I get liquidated? Did I take profit? What happened? Because I only did not look for 5 seconds and my trade was gone. I took actually profit here in that move. So now today's candle looks like what level we reached. If you're currently not in an Aeron trade, there is 2 ways how you can enter in an Airdrop trade if you're looking for an entry. Either we close above $29.50 and you enter from here. And if we are not closing above, then we most likely pull back all the way down to $27 and you want to enter there. And if we are pushing higher, let's say we close at like over $30 today. Then you want to wait that we are at $31, and from there you continue to trade to the upside, or that you basically enter there into a position. You don't want to make the mistake that you enter too early or too late, and you want to enter at safe levels. So, and you should also not forget here on a daily chart, we are a little bit overextended on the stochastic RSI. The RSI is still fine for another 48 hours where we could keep pushing to the upside. Also the MACD, but the stochastic flashes here an early warning sign. So I want to look at the 4-hourly chart. No, 4-hourly chart is still okay. So we don't have yet a bearish divergence. On the 1-hourly we have one. So that's why I'm telling you guys, be a little bit careful, you know. So now the next one is Uniswap. Uniswap on the 4-hourly chart looks also ready to go higher. Remember what I said, $9.07 is the level that you want to look out for to enter a new position. So currently, I'm not sure. So let me actually draw this like this. So this here is a broadening falling wedge, basically. So that is for me not a bull flag, you know. So this is a falling broadening wedge. So, and you determine the target from the middle, from top to bottom. So if we break out, we move to $9.56. Here is a big supply cluster. So it would make sense that we pull back from here a little bit, unless we just keep going to the upside, because there's so much momentum in Ethereum that will keep pushing us higher and higher. Because here's the other thing, beta plays like Uniswap, because they're also on ERC20, will keep going higher as long as Ethereum keeps pushing to the upside, and as long as the Ethereum Bitcoin chart keeps pushing into higher levels. So once we're breaking $9.07, that still remains. Then it becomes safe to enter this trade, and you can make here another 24% roughly to the upside. So if we are getting rejected from here and we come back lower, expect $8.73, $8.74, and from there we bounce back to the upside. So you enter then from there and then trade this to the upside. So that's how I'm going to play that. But right now everything looks like that we will get soon continuation, because here same thing, MACD losing momentum, stochastic pointing to the upside, RSI in bullish territory, not overbought. Hence why I believe that we go most likely in the next 24 hours past $9.07 and will move into higher price levels. Then Link is now overextended on the daily chart. Look at this here. So we are already around, and also the RSI did the same. So these are early signs of massive exhaustion on the chart. I'm not saying that we will now come back down here to like $11.84 or something like that. So, but expect that we pull back here a little bit. And now if you miss this trade, because this was happening really fast actually, potentially a dollar lower. A dollar lower is 6-7%. It's not crazy, you know. So I would place some limit orders here. And what you want to do right now, especially in a bull market, in a roaring bull market that we have right now, you want to layer your orders. You don't want to have all your money here at one level. You want to layer them on the way down and dollar cost average down into your positions, so that when price is coming down, that some levels will get filled. And even if you have some stupid levels, you can have some stupid levels like here, even if they don't get touched, but everything here got filled, that's fine. Then you take that money and ride it to the upside into the next target. And then on the next move, you compound everything together into a new position, you know, and layer again, you know, and you layer again, and you layer again, and you layer again. The same thing what I'm doing on ZoomX here with Bitcoin. I'm layering my orders. You know, if I don't get filled, no problem on some of these orders. You know, I take the money, either I add it later, you know, so, or I just keep it on the side, or I put it into something else, you know, so it doesn't matter, but I layer my positions, guys. Really, really important, that lesson. So now the next one is AlphaX, guys. On AlphaX, I've also currently a Solana trade running. Decentralized exchange, perfect if you cannot trade on ZoomX or on Bybit because of your restriction. Just use your Trust wallet, your MetaMask wallet. For signing up there, you get right now $100 absolutely for free, guys. And if you deposit $100, you can also stand a chance to win tomorrow $500 here. Once again, really, really simple, guys. Nice exchange to trade on. That's why I'm also trading here currently on Solana. So make use of that with the link in the description and pin comment below. Then the next one, I'm also currently in a Rune position. I took the trade from $5.60 roughly, I think. Here for hourly chart points to continuation on the MACD, stochastic pointing to the upside. Currently we're running here a little bit into resistance. That's why the RSI turns around. But also here I'm expecting, let it be 6-7 hours. 6-7 hours I expect continuation to the upside. So here's your chance now. When we come down, we're most likely going to hit the golden ratio again, which will act as support. And when we then come, so that will be the perfect entry level for you, because from there we're going to get our continuation past $6. So if you're looking for an easy trade setup, this might be one of the easiest trades right now, where you have limit orders here in the golden ratio, and just wait that they get filled, and then we turn around and go to the upside. Render, we hit a resistance at $5.21 approximately. If we would have broken, or if we break above that level, that becomes an entry level. If we continue to pull back, then most likely we come also back here to $4.93, $94, and then you can just trade the original trade setup here, but you need to set limit orders here. Why do I think that many of these coins are pulling back? Because when I go into the higher time frames, on the daily, on the 12-hourly, the stochastic RSI are everywhere overbought, and the RSIs are turning around. The writing is already on the wall, that we are soon getting here a pullback. But this is an opportunity, guys. This is a huge opportunity, and that is a huge last chance signal to get good entries before we keep going into higher levels. So the next one is say. Remember when I said when we break the downward sloping trend line, you can enter? So here you see now why, because since I set this, we are up, or we were at the high point up 6%. Only today, guys, only today, 6%, which is a lot. So here also, we are running into big resistance clusters here on the supply side, a lot of sell orders here above us. But I'm not really worried about that, because on the way up, we also had them, and we just kept eating and eating and eating into them. We have also here a big distorted W pattern, where we just retesting currently the neckline. So, and now remember, I have shown this the other day. This is a conservative target line. So here, that brings us already to close to 50 cents, which is another 20% move to the upside. So it's not too late to enter this. The 4-hourly chart looks good here for continuation, but on the daily chart, same situation like everywhere else. Here, it looks like that we first get a small pullback, potentially back to the downward sloping trend line to like 40 cents. So like a 5% move to the downside before we get continuation. These pullbacks right now, they might be a little bit more shallow than they are used to, because when Bitcoin comes down, most likely the dominance will go down with Bitcoin, the Bitcoin dominance, which means that we get a damper on the altcoins moving to the downside. So, and with that damper, we see then altcoins only pulling back really shallow and then keeping running to the upside. And that is really dangerous, because if this is your first rodeo in a bull run, many think we go much, much lower, and they get left behind when it starts to turn around. And that's it for today's episode, guys. Don't forget, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I see you with more money tomorrow.